Welcome to our Sunset Ocean Palm drawing class with the fourth graders here on Maui. Please stay to the end where you can see all of their artwork. Hope you enjoy it.
Okie doke, here we are. We got a new class. What grade are you children? Fourth grade. Fourth grade class, here we are.
Hello.
Welcome to Art Time with Jim Freehart. The YouTube channel, of course, is called Art with Jim Freehart. I'm so glad you guys are here today. We're going to do a solid graphite drawing pencil, kind of similar to this one with a coconut tree. And I'm going to swing this over onto our new piece of paper and we'll get started. Everybody ready?
Yeah! Yes.
All right, fantastic. Here we go then. So I'm going to try and stand so everybody can see pretty. And then I'm going to have some lines kind of coming up. I'm using a little bit of dotted lines because it makes it easier to make it look natural, like it's not a careful, perfect shaped trunk, because they're kind of rough. When they drop off the branches or the leaves, they leave some dark, some little lines that are a little bit more rough. So here it is. It's pretty wide at the bottom. And then I'm bringing it up. It comes pretty quickly. It gets to being skinnier, and then it kind of comes along up. And then I'm going to think about how big I want my palm leaves to be. They could be really big. They can go right off your page, or they can be smaller and stay in the page. That's up to you, folks. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to put a few little guidelines, and they come out and then they bend at the end. I've been looking at trees more and more to make it easier for me to do these classes with you guys. So they kind of come up, and then a lot of times they just bend right near the end. They're arched over a little bit and then they bend. So that gives you the shape of the tree already in place.
Hey, I'm doing good.
Great.
So good.
Now, on either side of these little ribs, that's like the middle of the leaf. So I'm going to have kind of a sketchy rest of that leaf coming along, coming down and meeting at the point, and kind of going back on the other side of that center rib. Up, moving out, coming out to a point, kind of coming back like that. This one's going to go right off the page for me. And one more.
I can't see. I can see it now.
Okay. Now, a lot of the coconut trees here have had the coconuts all cut off, right?
They're just like this.
Yeah, because tourists always get their head hit by them.
Yes. People don't know.
And you could get a concussion from it.
Absolutely.
A concussion.
Have you, even more than that, some people actually, right?
Yeah.
Exactly. So, it's really important not to hang out beneath coconut trees with big coconuts up there. Yes?
Did you know you're more likely to die by a coconut falling on your head than a shark? Yeah.
I heard about that. Isn't that interesting?
That is so.
So let's not hang out under the coconut trees, right?
Yeah.
That's the moral of the story, I think. So I'm going to put coconuts on here because we are not standing beneath this tree. So I'm going to put some coconuts here, and they're almost shaped a little bit like a football sometimes, right? They have a little more of a point, and they're super strong. So parts of it are sticking out, like there's the tip of another football or coconut, and the tip sticking out. See how I have like one main one, but around it I have others that are overlapping each other, and it makes it look like more of a three-dimensional clump of coconuts. And it actually comes out of what? Have you guys ever seen this little thing?
Yeah.
It's like a little shelter that has all the little squiggly branches of a coconut tree. See these little squiggly things? That's what they come out and they look like. These are the little squiggly, super strong branches that hold the fruit, the coconuts.
Dude, this is so actually way hard.
So it's pretty detailed, right?
Yes, yes.
Next thing, that's kind of a good start. Oh, so on the leaves of the coconut trees, I'm just gonna put like 2 or 3 little lines. Everything kind of, it basically makes an arrow pointing at this, back to the center of the plant. So see how I'm doing these lines? They're kind of like pointing toward the center. So there you go. They're all kind of pointing toward the center of the palm leaf.
I can't see.
Do you see what I'm talking about there?
Not
I
really.
can't see.
Well, you could do it different. What you're trying to do is have these, everything basically is coming out of the center. So these leaves would arch out from the center that they're all pointing at. This little rib down the middle, then these little lines that we're putting for the tiny little leaves. They're not like coming straight out sideways. They're actually, if you put a couple of them there, it makes like a little arrow aiming back to the middle of the tree.
This is so hard.
Well, only just have fun with it. That's the most important thing, right? If it's a little bit hard, that's okay. And each time you do it, that's working just right. Each time you do it, it's gonna get easier. So what about, look at my hand here. Let's suppose my hand is the trunk of the coconut tree. What happens when the leaves lean out over? What happens to the trunk? Shade? See how it gets dark? See how my arm is kind of dark under there? That's what we want to do with our coconut tree. We have some darker lines here. And because we're looking up overhead, these lines go like a frown line. And then those lines become sideways in the middle. And at the bottom, they're like little smile lines. You'll see when you walk out of class here, take a look at those palm trees there and you'll see what I'm talking about. The lines they're curved at the bottom, kind of like that.
I know, I saw those before.
Uh-huh. And then as they get up at eye level, then they're
How'd you
just
make
pretty much
that?
sideways. Then when they go overhead, they turn the other direction. So that's pretty good. And with these super smudgy pencils, we're gonna put a sun. I'm gonna put a sun right about here. So watch how I'm doing this. I'm not like trying to make one perfect circle. I'm kind of making a little bit of a spiral, and I kind of keep going around and around until it feels kind of round. Well, that's gonna be my sunshine. And I'm gonna put the shining light on the water here on the ocean.
I wish I could, but I have no space.
I think you can, no, you have a good space there. So watch, here's kind of a cool thing. If the sun's here, we have a light side on the trunk and a dark side, right?
Oh wait, I see what you're talking about.
So see what I'm doing here? I'm gonna shade in the far side, the side that's away from the sun, and shade that in a little bit with my pencil. That's one way to do it. You can do it up and down. It's a lot quicker, but I kind of like this way because it shows the lines and the shape of the trunk. It makes it look more 3D. So once I do that, then I can take my finger, and if you need to sharpen the pencil, you can grab a different one out of there that's already sharpened, okay? Okay, so look what I'm doing with my finger. In your case, you have to hold the paper really well. And I'm just going back and forth on the dark side, the shadow side of the trunk. And it gets especially dark up under here a little bit more, so I'm gonna do a little extra shading under there. Okay? I'm also gonna use my finger to smudge these leaves. Watch, you'll see what happens. Once you do some smudging on there, they start looking a little more 3D, and they look a little more solid, by being colored in a little bit with your finger. Okay, now I'm going to step back. I haven't done it yet. I usually step back a lot during the middle of the drawing so I can see how it looks from far away. And it helps me to think about things I might want to change. You know, when I got back here, I decided I wanted to balance this off with a few more medium-sized coconuts in here. All right, that's pretty good. One thing you can do later or now, but I'm just going to go along with my pencil and sort of outline a little bit more and see how I'm also not doing it really perfect lines, not trying to make it look like a telephone pole. I want it to be kind of rough, like the trunk of a coconut tree. So I'm going along and sort of outlining it a little bit. It gets especially rough up here. See, I'm putting these little zigzags up there because that's where the leaves have just fallen off the trunk. And that's, if you look at a coconut tree, you'll notice that. It's really rough there. And then when you get further down, where it's all old and worn.
I'm pretty sure I have a coconut in my front, in the front of my yard. I just don't have any coconuts.
That's pretty likely here in Kihei or somewhere, right? Because people usually cut them off so they don't drop on people's
I
head.
don't have any.
No? Okay, so there we go. We have the first part of this drawing done. The next part is how do we make this little spiral or the little circle? Good. How do we make that look like it's glowing bright? The most important thing is do not smudge in the middle at all. We want that to be pure white. Yes? What were you thinking?
To make a few lines, like a little dark line all around it.
Yes, you're right. You make the lines around it, and then we'll do smudging in those lines, but we'll leave the middle part white. There's going to be something magic that'll happen. This is going to end up looking kind of like the brightest spot on our whole drawing. And watch how we do it. I'm going to put some lines that are coming. I'm imagining a spot in the center, and I'm putting these lines all coming out from that center point. So you can put your finger there as a little reminder of where that center might be, and then put some lines coming out. All coming out. They could even keep going all the way across your paper if you want. It's going to make the picture seem like there's a really bright, sunny, almost a sunset, right? So this is where you get all the little lines, and I'm making them kind of dark, and a lot of them coming right outside of my circle of the sun here.
I did it.
Once you get all those little lines in there, watch what I'm going to do with my finger. I'm going to just go back and forth, pushing pretty hard and going back and forth to smudge this sunlight and make it extra dark close to the sun. And that will make it look kind of like a bright, shiny ball of light there. And you could do the same thing if you're doing a moonlight drawing too. I'm going to think about where I want the ocean to be. A lot of times in balanced art, you won't, like if I have a drawing that high, I won't put the horizon line where the sky and the ocean meet. I won't put it exactly in the middle, halfway up and halfway down. I'll leave a little bit more sky, maybe a little bit less water, or sometimes I'll go the other way. So that's one thing you can always think about when you're doing your own drawing. How do I want to balance my drawing so that it looks has a nice natural balance without being cut right down the middle. So I'm gonna, in this case, I'm gonna leave a little bit more sky, and I'm gonna just put a couple of little dots going across, because this is when you can fix it. Like I'm kind of getting an idea where I want the ocean to be. And I can also see if my lines are going really downhill like this or downhill like that. So I'm putting a couple of little guidelines across there. Then I'm stepping back and looking at it and seeing what it looks like. Yes?
Aren't we supposed to like make blend for the poetry?
Making which part?
Like a little bit of blend.
Yes, you're right. Right now, our palm tree is just floating out there, isn't it? It's not anchored at all on the ground. And on a real coconut tree, especially at a beach, sometimes you have these little roots, right? Have you ever seen the palm trees where you see some of the little roots there? They're super strong, but sometimes you see them at the bottom of the tree. And so you could do a little bit of that. That starts to make it look like it's on the ground. Then you can put some, just a little bit of grasses or something so that the tree isn't just floating out there. And a little bit extra dark on this side, right? Because the sunshine and the shadow. So that side would be a little bit more shadowy and dark. You know what's a special trick? Watch how I'm looking down the line, that line, and I can see it goes over like that. So watch, I'm getting back, I'm looking at that line, and I'm thinking, okay, how can I fix that, make it more straight? Starting right here, it goes, doesn't go rolling off the edge. There. It's like if you're looking down a piece of wood and you're trying to see if it's straight or if it's crooked. You just look right down the length, just like you can do with this. Now, here comes a really tricky part that I've never tried to teach you guys in school before, which is how do we make that sunshine look like it's shining brightly on the water?
Oh.
Yes? You have some ideas?
Yeah. You can like make lines like above it, like
Little sideways lines, kind of?
And swirly lines.
You can do that, especially when it gets low and close to you. You'd see more swirly lines here. So watch, here the trick to the whole thing is I'm going to make like zigzag lines, like a Z, right? Exactly, so watch. There's the sun. I'm gonna come down from the sun and I might start making little sideways lines, little Z. See that little thing like that? Like a Z. There's the sun. I might make the other Z on this side. See how these lines are like a little letter Z? And then we might have a wave that comes right across the whole thing. Another wave. So making, and then maybe one more wave with the point sticking up a little higher. That tells you the wave is getting taller and maybe getting ready to roll over and crash, right? So you can do that if you want. Now, this little Z part here, okay, and 2 or 3 lines going across the shiny light, and then maybe one last wave coming in really closer to the shore. See, we still have a beach here. But we're not going to worry too much about that. This is just, we're kind of wanting to focus especially on the light and the shining light. And once we get further on this, here's the part we want to leave super clean and white, just like the sun. That wants to stay clean and white. This part can have more lines going sideways that start making the water look darker and darker. And the darker the water looks, the lighter the light looks next to it. There's even a special thing that happens if you look at the moonlight on the water or the sun. I'm going to even make it a little bit dark in the sky right above where I want the shiny light to be there. So I'm going to even put some of these lines coming down from the sun, coming right down to the top of the water there. And then I'm going to smudge this a little bit darker, but I'm going to keep it clean white down below. Is your drawing starting to look kind of shiny and light?
Not really.
A little bit?
I guess.
Huh? Cool.
I don't even have to wave.
Well, don't
Going
worry.
too fast.
Okay.
I already started mine.
I'm sorry, I'll try and go a little slower, but remember, we can always go back because I'm going to leave the drawing right here. So if you get a little bit behind, you can always go back.
I messed up.
I'm making my waves really dark here so that it makes the shiny light look really light.
I messed up too.
So guess what, you guys? How many times do you think I've either drawn or painted a beach, an ocean? What would you guess? 10, yes?
About like 30.
What were you thinking? Yes?
5.
All right, well, I'll just tell you. I don't have the exact number, but way, way, way more. I've probably done 5,000 different paintings and drawings of the ocean. So if I look like I can do it a little bit better than you can, that's totally natural, right? It's a lot of practice. Yes?
Do you like sell your drawings?
Say that again?
Do you like sell them or where do you keep them?
I've given almost all of them away at schools. They all end up going to the teachers in the classes. And then, of course, I do sell my work, the paintings. I sell them. And that's my livelihood. That's what I do for my work, which is pretty fun.
You get to draw all the time.
I do. I get to draw every single day. It's incredible.
There's a saying. Even in summer.
Even in the summertime. Yes.
There's a saying that says, if you love what you work, you never work a day in your life.
Isn't that a great saying? And I sure hope for you kids that you find something that you absolutely love to do, and you get to do that for your whole life. Something fun, right? What were you thinking?
I messed up badly.
Oh, I don't think so at all. I think it's looking great.
What the?
So here's the one little trick. Okay, so here's one little thing you can do just to add, because it's already looking great. You have the shadow on the, can I hold that up for just a second? And I'll show you what, because everybody's is different. But what, this is already totally looking like water. You got sunlight around that, and you got the shadow on the coconut tree. The only thing you could do, maybe, is see how I made some of the waves come right across the sunlight beneath the sun? You could bring a couple of waves, a dark one coming right across here, and this one you could make even maybe a little darker that comes right across, just like I did here. See how I made a dark wave coming right across the shining light, okay? So that's coming along really well. So this is the trick part. The darker I make this, the brighter the water looks. The sunlight on the water. So there, I might even put one more little bit of a wave, getting smaller and smaller out there. A few little dots coming across there. So super dark here, super dark here. And because it's getting closer, this wave is getting higher, right?
I think
It's
it's the
getting
other
bigger,
one.
right?
I think it's the other one. That one, yeah.
You like that kind?
Yes. Yes.
I don't know that we have time to do that whole thing, so I decided to keep it simple like this.
I don't have the space to do that.
But you can do that if you're looking at that and you want to try and copy that one next to it. That would be fine. There's the other possibility, is that one right there with that crashing wave right there. But we'll go back to our drawing here for now. Okay, how about a few clouds?
Yes.
You want to see if
Yes,
how we? So clouds that are really far away, they look usually puffy on top and pretty flat on the bottom. So here's how we can do it. I start off usually by doing the bottom. Here's some super far away clouds, so they're really low down, close to the ocean, and they're just sort of flat bottoms. And then when they puff up, I'm making little curved lines. They're kind of curved lines that billow up high and then a little bit less high. Maybe just a little puff down here, a little puff coming off of that cloud with the dark bottom on them. That's the most important thing, a little shadow underneath the cloud. And once you get that shape done, you can add a couple more little curved bits of cloud that puff up a little bit higher. All of a sudden it starts looking 3D kind of. You see that?
Oh, what? No way. Yes way. Oh no.
So, how about a little rain shower? There are two things that you see under clouds. One is you got sunshine, so sometimes you have a little shadow coming right along with the rays of the sun. Have you ever seen that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And did you have another thought?
I think whenever you like see the rain, you can sometimes see like it's a little bit shaded, but sometimes if you look closely, you see like really gloss.
You can, you're right. And you can sometimes see where the sun is shining right through the rain. But what I'm gonna do, just to keep it kind of simple here, I'm gonna put some rain showers under this cloud. So look, they're almost straight up and down lines that come down to the water. And those little streaky lines coming down under the puffy part of the cloud tells a story, right? And I'm gonna make it a little extra dark under here because it's a rainstorm there. A little rain shower. And I'm going to smudge it. I'll smudge all around the edges of my cloud. Watch, I'm just going back and forth all along the edges. And all of a sudden your cloud starts looking even more 3D with the smudges. And then I'm going to smudge the rain shower too, back and forth on my little rain shower.
Rapid fire.
So I realize I'm going a little bit fast for some of you.
Yes.
And I'm going to leave this drawing up afterwards so you guys can go back and fill in the parts that you want to, okay? So I'm going to do one thing because I'm kind of done with mine. I'm just going to sign my name. Jim Freehart, and I put my little star.
I got an idea.
Remember?
We should do
That-
Aloha always wins.
That means celebrate the gift of life. That's what that little star means. To me, I made it up like about 49 years ago when I first started doing artwork.
Wait, does it have like a dot in the middle?
It doesn't. It used to when I first started it, had a little dot there. And now I make it a little differently. I leave it like kind of bright in the middle, sort of like we did with the sun, right? Where it's got a light spot and then it's dark all around it. So you guys were great. I'm so glad we got to have this
Again.
drawing time
This
together.
was my first drawing ever.
Oh, it wasn't.
Yes, it was.
All right, well,
It did 3 hard splash. Yeah.
so remember you guys, you can put some birds flying off in the distance if you want.
Just make peas.
That's almost like an Eva, right? And with the kind of long, pointing wings. All right, I'm gonna stop my video. Hope you enjoyed the video today. If you did, please like the video, subscribe if you haven't, and most importantly, share. Thank you. That's the more important thing.
Notifications to see if you posted any new videos.
Oh, you guys are great.
Turn on notifications.
So,
Stay tuned
like
for a
I
new
said,
video.
share them with your friends, because that's why I make these videos, so that you kids can learn some of the tricks that took me a whole lifetime to learn, and I'm passing them over to you right now with each of these videos. Okay, have a wonderful day.
Okay, so here are some of the incredible drawings from all the children in this 4th grade class. Hope you enjoy them. Take your time looking through these and notice how uniquely each child creates their own drawing and adds their own flavor. So hope you enjoyed it. Please do subscribe and share these videos with others. Most of all, remember, look for a way to be kind to somebody today and make it a little bit better world. That's the one thing that we can do to help make this world a more loving, kind place. So there you go. Hope you have the most wonderful day, and I don't know if you can hear in the background all these birds. It's early morning, just getting light out, and the moon's just set. And I'm just finishing up this video. Wishing you all the best. Have a wonderful day, and much aloha. See you next time.